You can't just have it to where if the appeal gets approved, then they're automatically unbanned? How does
it doesn't make any sense.
Feel comfortable streaming to this website when the entire foundation is built off of what I would call as a compliment, mental retardation?
I mean, I gotta agree, bro. Twitch is filled with complete regards. And here's my theory about the 3-tier system on Twitch. So basically,
I think what happened is that this is originally what happened is that it was one team and there was probably an issue when there was one team. And then so they created a second team so they can have no more issues. But then they had another issue with having 2 teams. And then so they created 3 teams. And now they still have issues, but they can't really justify having a 4th team. So you're at like the best and the most ineffective equilibrium of corporate inefficiency possible. And so they can't stop doing this, and they're just stuck with it. That's what's happened. Like, I guarantee you that's what it is. This is something that's happened over the years. They probably didn't have 3 teams in 2014. They probably had 2 teams in 2018, and now they've moved to 3 teams. The same as every single other thing. There is a degree of bureaucratic entropy that happens in almost every single organization that exists.
Here's how it goes. The first tier is the political team, right? So first they filter, okay, did the person committing the crime, or in this case the Twitch offense, have the same politics as me? Like, are they a terrorist supporting scumbag? If yes, please do not ban them. Please override the ban, right? Or make it, on their day off. Now, if they criticize terrorist supporters, permaban instantly, unacceptable. Then we get to the second tier. This is the gooning team. Here they evaluate, is the person who committed the Twitch offense a woman with an OnlyFans? And it's a very simple rule. If you qualify, you're not banned. And if you're a man, you're automatically banned. And then we move on to the
big problem, unless, no, that's not true, because if you're a cartoon, you get banned. But if you're a real girl, you don't. Because real girls are not as bad as cartoons.
Third tier, this is the Dan Clancy tier, the gooning epidemic tier. If the person in question is an OnlyFans woman or an ASMR mommy or whatever the heck, you must cease, like you as a Twitch staffer must cease all communications with them, because Dan
They've banned so many hoes I used to watch. It's a graveyard of hoes I used to watch on this platform. I don't even think that's true entirely. And some of them are on Kick. Some of them stopped streaming. It was bad. Like all those Korean girls, like there was like 3 or 4 of them I would watch regularly. They're gone.
Personally be taking over all chats and communications, because he actually really cares about the platform. He really wants to handle this situation himself, and he will be personally messaging these creators. Anyways, that's my theory. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Moving on to Tectone explaining why it's pretty harmful to delay unbans even for a couple days.
I want to remind you guys, at a point, I was living paycheck to paycheck off of Twitch. Before that, well, I was homeless, right? But regardless, and broke.
The thing that people don't understand is that most content creators are people you will never see or hear about, because they likely just have no viewers or very little viewers, and they are in the process of trying to make a career, right? And when someone like them actually
You guys ever see somebody who is like a small content creator, and they just get banned for nothing, and they're banned for like 3 years, and then they get unbanned, and there's like things just go right back to normal? And they got banned for like a pineapple that somebody reported, and they said it was a dick, and like somebody at Twitch was like, yeah, sure, ban them, and like see it just destroys their whole life. Oops.
And they might actually lose out on their only bit of income, right? Maybe they were earning like 20 or 50 bucks that day, and now they can't afford groceries or something. And yes, there's another conversation about, oh, you shouldn't put in all your eggs in one basket. You should probably be...
Nah, that's a bullshit argument, because like you never would use that on a person who has an actual job. Like if somebody doesn't get paid from their actual job, and you wouldn't go and say, oh, well, you should have had 2 jobs just in case. No, I mean, if somebody's working on Twitch and they're not getting paid in an efficient, they're not being treated in an equitable way, then it's bad, right? I mean, like, obviously there's always ways that you can, like, everybody should save money, etc. But, like, I mean, blaming somebody because they're not being paid by their employer, they're being treated unfairly, like, that's, you know, it's a distortion. It's a distortion of logic and what's right.
In another job, whatever. But yeah, some people, I don't know, they're just trying to follow their dreams, you know? And unlike the streamers and YouTubers who actually made it, they can't just take days off or brush off a ban. It's basically like a full-time job for them, and it can seriously affect their life. And a lot of people don't understand this because the perception is skewed, right? Because every creator you ever see, like every creator you watch, is the top 1% of creators, or like top 5% max. Anyways, then Tectone talks about his haters.
Punishing your viewers with 6 minutes of fucking ads every single time they boot up a stream is fucking insanity.
Too many ads.
These dipshits online want to label me as a criminal. Are you guys noticing how in 2025 I'm getting bigger and bigger and bigger? So the lies that people tell about me have to get bigger and bigger and bigger. You want to know why that is? Because these people are horrified.
I saw another person that said that I was a Nazi the other day on Twitter. Oh, this guy says, I love dick in this chat. I wonder why he said that. Yeah, anyway, so, yeah, people say I was a Nazi. I find that to be, you know, really, people have a great imagination. They really did. They said I was going to turn in Anne Frank. They said you would have turned in Anne Frank to the Nazis. And I gotta tell you guys, like, the fact is, like, you don't even play into that game. Don't even play into that game. That's a game that they like, again, they set that up to lose. Like, no, you do not even, like, it's a ridiculous premise. I do not even engage.
The people who tell the truth. Why do you think they go on Asmongold so much? Because that's another and every single time I go live,
they gave up on doing that, basically. A lot of these people gave up trying to make me look bad because they found out it didn't work. That's the problem, is every single time that somebody went and there was some big cancel campaign or there were a bunch of viral tweets and people got so mad at me, all it did is make me more money. It made me more popular. And the reason why, here's the reason why, is because the people that are going and starting this bullshit are a bunch of hysterical retards on the internet that are delusional. And so when a normal person goes and watches the stream, they say, damn, I thought he was a Nazi. Why is he talking about, you know, why is he talking about, like, how, you know, like, the illegal immigrants aren't our enemies? It's actually the companies that are employing them. Like, that doesn't sound like a Nazi thing. Like, why is he playing, why is he saying, like, he's friends with this person that's a different skin color? But why, I thought he hated black people. Why is he watching a video of a black person and saying that they're right? What is this? And they see that, and they're like, oh, fuck. Damn, maybe that was some bullshit. And so you have a lot of people that cut, what is this bitch fatigue? Exactly, it's bitch fatigue. And so that's the way it is all the time. It's illegal immigrants defending the illegal ones. Yeah, exactly. And so that's the reason. And so they stop crying about me and they think that they can cry about Tectone, but the reality is the same thing is going to happen. It's because really the economy and the culture of crying, complaining, bitching, getting mad, and being obnoxious is just over. People are fatigued and tired of having a bunch of weirdo freaks on Twitter that have like 7 different mental illnesses tell them what's normal.
My fate isn't sealed now.
Every single time I get a new subscriber, it drives y'all fucking nuts. So suck my dick. You think I'm going anywhere? Yeah, fucking right.
Yeah, I mean, people love discrediting people who are just trying to speak the truth. Like,
it's a hose
people
mad
like Hassan will throw
situation.
out the term slop tuber as if to, you know, just invalidate everything you ever say about him. But honestly, I think Twitch just made him way bigger by banning him. Obviously, he's doing the best he ever has. That's kind of what happens when you try to suppress someone, right? They just blow up way more. And Twitch deserves all the hate. In fact, it needs more hate. But yeah, let's move on to Asmongold's reaction.
Bans and unbans don't work on the weekend.
They're lying. Either Twitch is lying to Tectone and they do work on Saturdays and you're giving him the runaround, or that they scheduled his ban to be on his off day. Which one's worse?
Is there anything we can do to make it up to you.
Now we're getting into some entertainment, boys.
This is a system that is designed. This is a bureaucratic system. It's badly designed. You have 3 teams to deal with the same problem? It's ridiculous. It's inefficient, yeah. Again, this would have never happened in Office Space. Those Bobs would come in and they would have set this. They would have set this shit straight so fast. It would have been over. With Twitch, you would be nothing but another big mouth snowflake crying for attention, and Dex, you would actually have to work for a living like the rest of us. Why haven't you got banned yet, you mac a mockery of Twitch TOS? I can see why you're upset. 2012, huh?
Wait a minute. Account created April 1st. Bro was born a fool. Twitch is way too old-fashioned. Everything they do is miles behind what it should be. They're like Nintendo with 2006 graphics, right? Like,
yeah, this is well, let me guess. This is for the Switch 3, right? This is the what do you call it? This is the photo picture mode.
Like, why do you have 3 teams for a ban? Why are you so bad at enforcing proper TOS? Why do you have 500 ads and still pay streamers like 50% sub money? Why can't
That's
you
actually not Twitch's fault, it's Amazon's fault.
rewind for free? Why do you have no discoverability on your platform at all? Why are you so pathetic in every regard? I think it's going to be pretty interesting to see what happens. I'm still curious as to what Tectone sent over to the Twitch staff.
Yeah, I am too.
I've literally never heard of something like that happen before. I don't know why they're making a deal with him. I would think they hate his guts, but maybe not. We'll see.
I'm not.
Anyways, remember how Hassan was melting down that people were leaving Twitch or even considering going to Kick, right? Because his monopoly was being affected. Well, Tectone responded.
Dude, Hassan has not grinded for anything in his entire life. This is a guy who was handed everything in his life, as well as his career and his money, because he's a fucking Nepo baby. You don't know how to grow a fucking career. You don't. The only thing that you do is you talk about how to pander to the far left and you weaponize people by glorifying terrorism. Shut the fuck up. Stop giving out advice. You don't know shit. Okay? First of all, the right way to grow a channel is to use Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts.
I've always said, I've always respected Hassan for going live every day, right? I don't even entirely agree with this, but like, obviously people, if you're born with certain advantages, they do exist. They do, and knowing people that are in an industry, I mean, yeah, of course it's beneficial. Everybody knows that.
Then, once you have garnered your own audience and they're going to go where you tell them to go, if you send them to Kick, they will make more money than they will off Twitch. But a working man would not put all of his eggs in one basket. Obviously, you would stream on every platform. Because why wouldn't you? You give them the convenience of choice, and obviously Kick will give you the most sub revenue. Your post is wrong, you don't know what you're doing, and you're upset because you know you can't stream on Kick. And thank you very much.
The Nepo baby part is definitely true. His entire family is millionaires. His uncle from the Young Turks, Cenk, literally gave him his entire career. Ironically, the guy he hates the most in this world, Destiny, helped him out a ton too. And the advice for upcoming content creators...
I would even say, I could defend, I can say like Hassan did his own thing on Twitch and he earned it, right? I would say like I'd say anybody, if you're popular on Twitch, it's because you've earned it. Like nobody chooses to watch, like you can't Nepo into any type of viewership. If people watch you, it's because they want to watch you. There are plenty of people that get like fucking a million raids, a million bits of help, and it never increases their viewership. I'm just saying.
Streamers is good.
That's
usually
true, and you can look at that. You think about it yourself.
That's probably what I would do if I was starting over, because long form, oh my god, I had to make videos for 2 years straight to even break like 10 views, which is just so inefficient, right? Meanwhile, on shorts, you can get your name out there. Obviously, it's a little harder to transition back to long form, but it's so much more efficient, right? And unless you're a complete psychopath and you have 100% belief in yourself, probably don't quit your job to do YouTube or streaming. You kind of just do it on the side, and when you blow up, then you can quit or whatever.
That's what I did.
It's just not worth putting all your eggs in one basket and tanking your career to end up becoming someone like Frogan. Then he talks about Hassan's 7th orbiting moon, Denims. Apparently she's been talking about him a lot.
I definitely think that Denims has tectone derangement syndrome.
Oh, God.
I think she is a very weak-minded individual that cannot get over her sexual thirst for me. And I just feel like she can't keep her name out of my mouth because she wants to be with me, and that's just pretty much it. And it sucks because, I mean, I'm already happily in a relationship, and it'll never work. I understand that the heart wants what the heart wants, but Denims, I'm sorry, I will never date you. Plus, I'll be real, I would never date a chick with an OnlyFans ever again, because why would I do that when I can just pay $4.99 and get the whole thing? You know, so yeah, me personally, nah, I'm good, man. Shoot for somebody your league. Like, go date Sean DeBlack or something. You guys are perfect for each other.
Oh my
great. Anyways,
God.
I'm just too good of a guy for you. I'm just out of your league.
I feel like Denims, along with another Hassan orbiter, would be the perfect couple. They can go on dates where they talk about killing other people. Also, the advice about OnlyFans is spot on. OnlyFans is the biggest red flag out there. No respect for your body, no respect for your partner, feeding into the disgusting, degenerate culture society has cultivated, making money off the Dan Clancy's of the world. I feel like it shows a massive lack of self-respect on the part of the girl and the guy who chooses to be with said girl. And we all know
I'm not an OnlyFans hater, you know, like you know, I'm a pragmatic guy, so I always fish where the fish are. I've dated like 3 girls that have done OnlyFans, but you know, that's just me. Right? That's just me. I'm not so based with this one.
what happens when you date someone like that. We have witnessed the absolute destruction of a certain YouTuber, the very soul sucked out of him. So I'd recommend staying away. Definitely good advice there.
Right.
But now let's take a quick trip to Jellyfish Fields. But anyways, let's move on to Ludwig. He talked about Asmongold moving to kick, and he somehow did not mention Hassan once. And he kind of did this before too.
What's happening with Twitch? Uh-oh.
Made an entire video about the adpocalypse on Twitch, which people were blaming on Hassan, but he managed to not mention him even once, even though he was the center of the story.
All right, chat. There has been a big shakeup in the Twitch universe.
This is the part I have not seen. I have not seen Ludwig talking about me. So you gotta start making those videos again.
Moved over to Kick.
Yeah.
Asmongold moved over to Kick. A little bit of a stream shakeup. It's kind of a rare occasion. Wait, hold up. Everyone relax.
That's right.
Because you guys didn't let me finish. He is multi-streaming on Kick. You guys are saying good riddance. He still streams on
Yeah. You ain't got rid of me yet.
Twitch, to be clear. He just also streams on Kick.
Yeah, so basically his chat hates Asmongold and loves Hassan, which is pretty much what he thinks too. It's like a reflection of him. And look at his chat here. Like
what
when
are they mad? Don't cover it. Dwellers come out. Otherwise, yeah, he's so grubby.
Asmongold comes up. He's so grubby. Who cares? He's gross. Thank God he's a loser. The rat.
The thing is, I'm a loser. Like, how old are you, man? Like, I'm too old to give a fuck about. I just think that's funny. You know, sometimes I see people that insult me in a way that I know would make me mad whenever I was a kid. And it actually, like, when I see that insult, it actually kind of makes me happy because I'm like, man, I remember what it was like to be like that. I remember being a kid. Man, those were the days. Those were the days, man. Like, yeah.
Alarm clock goes hard on Kick. Did he get a bag? Racist man found on racist website.
Right.
And the worst human you've ever imagined.
I'm the worst one. I'm the worst one. Like, not Hitler. It's me, actually.
Grifter goes to Grifter site. Crazy. Yeah, what a wonderful audience here. The Hassan Glazers.
Building an audience.
I thought he was against diversity. I was against diversity. Yeah, everybody knows I hate. Well, we already had the list of all the people I hate.
Try this again.
It's on Kick also protects him if I'm gonna be a little more bold here, when Asmon gets banned on Twitch again.
Oh, he's thinking I'm gonna get in trouble again. The thing is that there's a possibility it might happen, but I feel like a lot of the stuff that I do is really not that bad. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I really very rarely do I say anything crazy. Like, I'm actually probably. I actually think not even probably, for sure, the most reasonable person on Twitch. There's a lot of people that are not even-handed the way that I am. But it doesn't matter what people say about me. Like, think about the kinds of attacks that I deal with every day. I have to listen. I have to watch these react to this shit live. I just deal with it. It is what it is. The most humble? Well, yeah, but I mean besides that. Yeah, no, because we already know that. Yeah, it's like why would I get banned? Now maybe one day I might get banned, right? But like, who knows?
I think he'll get banned again. It's not a crazy call. I would say in the next 2 years, there's a chance he gets banned. Not permanently. Maybe a week, maybe whatever. But you know where he'll never get banned? Kick.
Dude, I can't even make out what he's actually trying to say here because
he's trying to imply that the things that I say are problematic and then Twitch is going to ban me for that reason. That's what he's trying to imply. It's obvious you trying to imply that. I don't think that what I'm saying is so crazy. I really don't. Everybody thinks that I'm crazy, but I don't think that I am. I think everybody else is crazy.
Every single one of his words in like 500 layers of spinelessness. Also, how do you talk about this without mentioning Hassan? That's like one of the main reasons he's actually moving, because Twitch is stupid and not a reliable platform, and it's crashing and burning due to supporting Hassan, the terrorist supporter, and his goons. Then he compares Hassan to Asmongold, puts them on the same level.
Never get banned there. So if he's not banned, he can continue to live stream while he is banned and still upload to YouTube and whatnot.
Yeah, of course.
So I think that's why. Asmon's the GOAT? The GOAT of what?
Well, I mean, you got to admit, like, I mean, that's kind of true, though, right? I mean, isn't that smart? I mean, even Ludwig would probably say it's smart for me to do that. I mean, like, really, I mean, that's what he did, right? The moment that Ludwig's YouTube contract was over, he immediately went back and started streaming on Twitch again. The reason why is because you want to put all you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. Now, Ludwig has kind of boxed himself into a corner with, like, the image that he's created for himself. So you're probably not going to see Ludwig streaming or multi-streaming on Kick or anything like that. But I think that in a different world, where if Kick was a different website, he'd probably be multi-streaming on there too. And so the reality is that he even does the same thing that I do. That's it.
He's banned and still upload to YouTube. So I think that's why. Asmon's the GOAT. The GOAT of what? Live streaming, I don't put in top 5. If we were to go sodas consumed per day, he might get there.
That's not even top 5. I drink like maybe 3 or 4. Like, that's not even top. Now trouble call. Like, I would say that there are very few people on the internet that people like are always like. A lot of people talk about me. A lot of people love to talk about me all the time. Like, they go on, like, there's tweets about it, thinking about what I'm saying, clipping shit out of context, even clipping shit in context, which usually sometimes is worse. But yeah, no, that's really, I would say that. I mean, how many other people getting talked about, like people getting upset and mad about shit that they're saying more than me? Not that many.
He has a chance. If we're going to go to rage baiting, we could get there. We're closer. We're closer to the GOAT. Now that I think about it,
everybody thinks that I'm rage baiting, but the fact is that I'm retarded seriously. I'm seriously retarded. I'm not pretending to be retarded. I actually am retarded. They just don't know that.
You know,
I'm fine with Ludwig. I don't give a fuck. Like I don't care. Like, if somebody goes and says something bad about me, like, I don't take any of this personally, man. Like, really, like, I went and I used to care so much about, like, what people say and, like, you know, get, you know, not really a lot, but, like, I used to take it more personally. Now, it's just, listen, it's theater, right? I mean, it's entertainment. Like, people don't like that, and they want to get the moment that you get serious and you get your feelings involved in shit like this is the moment that you lose control, and I don't want to have that happen.
Are closer than you think. 2 rage baiting champions who love sitting down with the soda.
How is Hassan anywhere close to Asmon? Hassan literally supports and platforms terrorists. Like, you can not like his takes or his politics or whatever, but putting them in the same boat is crazy. Also, why was he so offended
I would say, like, I mean, really, in a lot of ways, Hassan and I are offended. Like, I mean, I think a lot of people would draw that conclusion. I don't think that's really a crazy thing to say. And really, it's just like 2 people that are really opinionated that say crazy shit, right? I mean, like, it's not that bad of a comparison.
Someone said Asmon is the GOAT of streaming. He's literally the #1 streamer. It doesn't really matter if you like him or not. He is the most popular.
If you like streaming edgier shit, and you're ever worried about being banned on Twitch, you multi-stream to Kick.
Smart.
Is there anything more edgy than supporting terrorists, bro?
Because what's the issue with streaming?
I could come up with
the connotation. The I think, like, the people who you are surrounded with. That's really
that's the connotation and like all this stuff. This is a fake thing that's made up by viewers and other streamers in order to try to control other people. The moment that you just decide to be your own man and make decisions for yourself, rather than let people shaming you and trying to bully you into doing something, control you, is the moment that you are able to be yourself, right? And so like a lot of people are doing this, and the funny thing is that everybody has a line for this, and like, you know, Ludwig is on Twitch. I mean, Twitch is owned by Amazon. Amazon, everybody would agree, is an immoral employer in a lot of ways. You know, they astroturf fake accounts in order to pretend like union support for Amazon is low. I mean, like that's disgusting, right? I mean, who does that? You know, like they've had tons of problems hiring illegal aliens, tons of issues, right? And then you go over to Twitter. Ludwig is active all the time on Twitter. Did Elon Musk do a Nazi salute or not? I don't know what Ludwig's opinion is on that, but I know a lot of people that think that he did. And if you do a Nazi salute, or you're a Nazi, or you're some kind of racist or bad person, well, why are you still on this person's website? Well, the reason you're on their website is because other people are on the website. So there's a lot of these things that people have, and it's another example, I think, of luxury beliefs, where it's very easy for someone to criticize and talk shit and complain from a position that they don't necessarily have to think about themselves. So whenever you take around and you look at a person's own actions and you say, well, if you're criticizing a person for doing this, why can't this criticism be leveraged against you for doing Y? And there's not really a reason for it. And so what's happening, I think, now is that there's been a breakdown in the moral posturing of the internet. I think that there was a tremendous amount of like moral posturing and like pretending, basically. And this was in like 2020 to 2023, I would say. Especially during COVID, maybe a little bit in 2019. And so it was really, really bad, and people created these entire false personalities and false worlds. Virtue signaling, yeah, there was an entire vulture, I said that, is honestly, it's the same thing. It's more accurate. Vulture signaling is better. The fact is that they created this entire economy and ecosystem around pretending to be people that they're not, and then actively doing things that are not really completely in line with what they believe. And so, or trying to play both sides, or like always having the right opinion on everything. But the fact is that I think that now there's like a growing, I think, tiredness that people have of having anybody tell them like what's good and bad. People just want to watch entertainment. They don't really give a fuck about any of this stuff, right? Like it's all like just noise for most people. And I think now, like, you see that happening, it becomes more and more evident to everyone now. And I think it's a good thing. Yeah, I think it's a breakdown, like, because you don't see people getting the same level of pushback for anything nowadays. You can't really get canceled nowadays unless you get banned, because nobody cares. And in my opinion, I think that's a great thing. Nobody ever should have cared. It's bullshit to begin with.
Issue. There are child predators on Kick. There's probably more on Twitch, if we're being honest, just because it's a larger,
you know, that
base. But I see what I know what you are trying to say. Percentage-wise, yeah, maybe. Per capita, yeah, I guess. I think the only reason some streamers don't multi-stream to Kick is because they might have pushback from their audience, because the like vibe Kick has, because it has a lot of fucking insane people on it, has a lot of filth on it, has a lot of slop on it. And
so does Twitch, and that's the thing, and that's the reason why the narrative changed. And that's the problem, is that like it's easy to say that, but like whenever you have people on Twitch that are saying crazy shit also and doing bad stuff also, you can't really hold that moral upper hand. And I think also like people don't want to be moralized to by internet celebrities. Like really, they just don't want to deal with that. It's weird, and so that's another big component as well. Is sloppy, man? Yeah, and so like that's the reason. And also the main reason why Twitch streamers, that actually is not the reason. And Ludwig probably knows this, but maybe not. A lot of streamers aren't really in Ludwig's position, and they're not in my position either. And they're worried that multi-streaming will cut their viewership, which could hurt their discoverability. That's the main thing that they're worried about more than anything else. And that's what's really driving their decision-making process, much more so than, let's say, you know, like how like 5 commenters are going to react.
They don't want any pushback from their audience multi-streaming to a sus platform, even if they stand to make more money from it.
Yeah, what about Hassan on Twitch? I don't like being surrounded by Terra supporters. Honestly, I think the connotation for Twitch is even worse now. After this whole scandal, Twitch cannot pretend to be above Kick in any way. Anyways, Willie Mack show.
I don't think so either. I mean, Twitch has a partnership with DraftKings. I mean, you know, they support gambling and promote gambling on Twitch too. So like, there's not really a difference there at all. And like anybody who says that they're like, oh, I don't like the moderation on Kick, every single person that says that has a Twitter, and Twitter's moderation is worse than both of them. So how does that make any sense? There's no logic and there's no values in this at all. There's no sense in it. Like that's I get gamble ads on Twitch. Yeah, I mean really, like you think about it.
All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
Also made a video on iDubbbz. Let's just check out some quick highlights.
It's crazy what a little CTE or the love of a woman will do to you.
Whenever you're around Denise, you look like an abused dog.
I just want to ask you if you've always been shitting your pants. Because since I've known you, you've always had like the IBS. You've always been shitting yourself.
You know, I'm not
Always
been...
had a cafe. Fern, has he always had IBS? Ian's just looking like a shriveled. You look like the grandma from SpongeBob. The chocolate grandma. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what's happened to Ian. He has zero confidence. He doesn't even know how to speak for himself anymore.
Do you feel like
I don't want to get into this iDubbbz shit. I think it's fucking weird, if you want me to be totally honest. Like, I'm gonna just stop it right there. We got through the most important part, which was about me. I mean, obviously, right, that's the important part. And so, yeah, it's weird, right? I mean, like, it's just, honestly, like, I'm gonna be 100% real. It makes me kind of uncomfortable to watch this. I'll link you guys the video here, and y'all can support it, give it a like, and everything. But like, I'll go back, and he said, no, and like, I actually like Ian, I do, and I don't know his relationship and his situation with his wife or girlfriend or fiance. I don't know where things stand on this. But like some of these interactions and like watching the dialogue happen, it just feels very weird, and it makes me not really want to watch it. Like that's just that's the way I feel in general. And yeah, at Twitch, I love how after banning Gamba streams, they shove their own sports betting ads in my face. Yeah, no, exactly. And real world stuff is too much. Like Amarath fighting on stream, not a fan. Yeah, I don't like that. It's too much. But like we get back to this, right? And like I know that a lot of people try to be critical and everything, but the reason why I did it. And the reason why I wanted to do this in general is because I said fuck. Like the thing is, at a certain point you have to, like, I complain about stuff a lot, but like at a certain point you have to do something in a beneficial way for yourself. And if you're not going to act in your own best interest, then you're going to cause yourself a lot of problems. And so you don't like the abuse. It's not even that. It's weird to watch, right? It's like it's like being in a room when you aren't supposed to be, right? Like that's the way I feel about it. So yeah, and I do think that like streamers are afraid of like pushback from an audience, but you should never like. This is one thing that you have to always remember. Is that 9 times out of 10, more, 99 times out of 100, the main people that are pushing back against you are not even your own audience. It's the majority of people that have just bandwagoned on top of something, and they're trying to scare you into not doing something because they feel like what you're doing is problematic in one way or another. And that's what happens all the fucking time. And so as soon as you realize that, and you realize that a lot of this hate and pressure and everything is inauthentic, etc., stick to your guns, yeah, and not necessarily stick in a way, yeah. And so there's a clear click on Twitch that are unhappy with how you do things, and even unhappier that you do well. Well, I don't really like. I'm the kind of guy, right? Like I don't really care. Like I don't need to go and gloat a whole lot. I don't need to go and be rude to anybody or anything like that. I mean, I think that people in my audience wants to watch. I think that people want to watch a fair take on things and a fair shake on things. And the moment that I start trying to bring in personal vendettas and making things and getting mad at people because they slighted me, etc., I just think that most people, like, again, like a lot of my viewers are over 30. Like, nobody wants to fucking see that shit. It's fucking annoying. Like, that's some high school bullshit. So it's funny to watch. It's funny to laugh at. But, like, am I really going to go and, like, get down in there and get offended and get mad, right? And so that's the thing. And so, like, I'm not going to do that. It's just not for me. And I also, like, I don't think it really helps me. Like, it doesn't benefit me in any way. So, yeah, that's it. And let's go back. Truth, honesty, and fun. Yeah, no, that's just how it is with everything. But I've seen a video of the owner of Twitch GRP. No, I didn't see that at all. I have no idea. So, yeah, no, I'll read some of the comments about this. But Techno says a few mean words. Yeah, exactly. And so everybody goes and people go and get mad about, like, me doing this stuff and everything. But at the end of the day, I think that really the proof, it really, you know, it's a stupid thing to say. The proof is in the pudding, though. Like, you can look and see the results of what my actions are. And I think that I deliver results that are of a very high ratio that deliver success. And ultimately, that's what I do. Like, you know, I don't think about, like, whether something is, like, a good or bad thing. I don't look at something. Like, I look at where I'm at, where I want to go, and I get there. That's it. And, like, I don't think about if people are getting mad at me about it, if people are angry, it's hurting their feelings, it's getting them upset. But all that is noise, bro. Like, that's all noise, and it's getting in the way. This happened, it just came out today, about Kash Patel, director of the FBI, talking about whether Jeffrey Epstein killed himself or not. A lot of dislikes? I don't know.
Epstein, right? The reason people are pissed off about that is the same thing, right? 20 years ago, or whenever it was, 2006, 7, 8, Epstein gets his sweetheart plea deal, right? Sure. After committing the most horrific crimes on planet Earth, right? I wasn't in power there. I wasn't in place there. I had, you know, nothing to do with it. But people were rightfully pissed that this guy was committing the most grotesque acts you can against children.
So where's the file?
And the media spins up about it. Many in the media protected him. Why? Because of his relationships, who he knew, who his bankers were, who his colleagues were, who was on the island and stuff like that. Some pretty powerful human beings. And so when you peel back the layer, and then what happened? The Trump administration, the last go round, decided, no, we're not going to let that go. We're going to investigate, right? They charge him, they indict him, and he's awaiting trial. And I've said it, Dan Bongino said it, we've reviewed all the information, and the American public is going to get as much as we can release. He killed himself. Do you think, let's play out the logical conclusion.
This is why people are pissed. This is why it had downvotes, is because people believe that he did not kill himself. And when they hear that he killed himself, that's going to make them mad.
Do you think that myself, Bongino, and others would participate in hiding information about Epstein's grotesque activities? Or do you think...
Maybe. Because we don't know the implications of it. Like, how could we possibly know that? But, like, I think a lot of people, the thing is that, yeah, of course people would believe that that's possible. I'm not saying it is, I'm not saying, but yeah, of course people could believe that. Especially when you say the files are coming out and then they don't come out. Yeah, then people are worried.
We would also participate in not prosecuting people. We had evidence to prosecute people on. But the problem is there's been like 15 years of people coming in and creating fiction about this that doesn't exist. Where's the videotape of an Epstein Island of X, Y, and Z committing these frauds? Why haven't you given it to us? Do you really think I wouldn't give that to you if it existed? I'm working my ass off along with the leadership at the Bureau and DOJ to get you what we're allowed to give you. And you're going to get the video.
Well, how are you allowed to? I mean, what do you mean by allowed? I mean, you're the one to make the rules, so, like, what do you mean by allowed?
Of the cell. And you're going to see for yourself. And we will never be able to convince everyone.
Okay, let's get into that. So, what did you think before you got in office? Did you think that Epstein was murdered?
No.
No suspicion at all of it?
But I have a different background.
Well, he has a suspicion, but you just didn't know. Yeah, sure.
Right.
So I was a public defender back in the day. I used to spend a lot of time in jails and a lot of time in segregated housing units, shoes as we call them, right?
Okay.
And so, and I've known people that have committed suicide in these cells. and I know how you get in, how you get out, who works the system. And so the way, based on public information at the time, that he ended up the pictures and him hanging himself, I was like, man, that guy killed himself. There's just no way that you could have run an op and had people go into that cell and not have any video of it and not have any people come out and say, hey, yeah, I saw that guy, he shouldn't have been there, the guard or this guy. There's just no access points into places like this in the detention center he was in, which I did.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but what I was told, what I'd read, was that the guards were not paying attention or were sleeping.
Well,
right?
Yeah, and in short order, you'll see it.
Is that correct?
Well, it's hard to surmise that from a video, right? Like,
right.
Where they and look, do guards doze off on the night shift? Yeah. But no one can get in to the cell. And if they had gotten into the cell, you would see it.
But we were told that the cameras were down.
Well, I don't know who said that.
But that was in the news.
Yeah, that was the official narrative, that the cameras went down, he died, and then the cameras came back up.
We're giving you all the footage we have.
No, that's not an answer, bro. Like, that's not, this is the reason why people are getting worried and they're starting to cap on this, is because they just said, because listen to what he just said.
But that was in the news.
We're giving you all the footage we have.
That is not an answer to whether the cameras went off or not. That is a separate answer to a different question that wasn't asked.
That released like immediately. Why did this speculation escalate?
I think you'd have to ask whoever the Attorney General back then was, Bill Barr.
Did you ever see, do you remember that HBO autopsy show? Dr. Michael Baden, he's a famous forensic scientist. So he's a pathologist, and he reviewed the case, and it was his determination that it was a homicide because of the way his neck was broken. Mm-hmm. What he said was it was indicative of a ligature strangulation, and it was because of the positioning on the neck where the marks were, that it wasn't indicative of someone hanging by their weight, which had been higher on the chin. And there's a specific break of the bones and the vertebrae that's consistent with someone who is just strangled.
Jesus, bro, he's going in on
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it. The thing is that whether Epstein killed himself or not is, like, in my opinion, not really that's not the big thing. He's dead. What about all the other people that were involved with him? You're telling me that you haven't even been able to get a single name of a single person, not even one person. Ghislaine Maxwell? Well, yeah, but she was like his accomplice, right? This is a very different thing. Not a single person.
Definitely take a look at it, because that's part of my job.
He's gonna have to look at it.
You haven't seen that?
The report?
Yeah.
No, I haven't looked at that.
Did you see any? Was there any other autopsy done other than the official one?
Not to my knowledge, but if there was, you'll get it. And that's what we're doing.
See if you can find that Dr. Michael Baden thing.
Yeah. No,
Did you remember that show, the HBO show?
No, they're gonna
Pretty cool
watch
show.
it together.
This guy, Dr. Michael Baden.
Ooh, that's good.
He had a long career of catching murderers, exhuming bodies, finding trace amounts of poisons, different kinds of things. And it was a crazy show, like all these wild ways.
Well, I love watching shows, and I spend a lot of time on planes.
Yeah, it was an old show. It was a show like from the early 2000s, I believe. But this guy was, this very well-respected forensic scientist who would analyze these bodies, and it was his determination that he was murdered.
Yeah. And my job, going back to the core of what I've been doing since I stood rushing.
He just goes, yep. All right. Well, anyway, so, guys, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I love watching shows. Yeah, guys, I think he was just acknowledging that what Joe said, right? He's just like, oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, this guy saying that he got murdered isn't definitive. But, there sure seems like there's a lot of stars aligning in order for this to occur. I'm not certain. Cash Patel could be telling the truth. And it could be possible that he did just straight up kill himself, and that's possible. But, again, I think the reason why people don't believe that is that nobody else's head has rolled because of this. There's been no other trials. And so when you have this like massive, like this massive thing that happens, and people are going to jail for trafficking, but who are they trafficking to and from? How is this happening? Where are the logs? Where is all of this stuff? How credible is the source claiming the cameras are off? Yeah, exactly. Where's the client? Yeah, Epstein's accomplice, Pierre, literally died the same way under the same circumstances. Well, that's convenient. But like, and like, so the thing is, I think a lot more people would believe that Epstein killed himself if there were convictions and at least, you know, like people getting arrested for being involved with this, right? So like, if I saw them doing arrests over and over and over, I would say, oh, okay, yeah, maybe he did kill himself. But it's both of these and all of these things coming together. That's the reason why people don't trust it. Yeah, guards asleep, cameras off, all the junk in his cell, hard drive corrupted. Yeah. I mean, like, how many stars have to align in order for this to happen? And it just so conveniently happens in the way that protects all of these really powerful people that are billionaires? I don't know, guys. That seems pretty... Seems like a coincidence.
Was to get and is to get everybody the information.
When did you get here? Epstein's autopsy points to homicide. Pathologist hired by brother claims. New York City medical examiner strongly disputed the claim that the evidence from the autopsy.
This is just one person. You can't be sure it's true or not. But again, it's not even about, he's already dead. It's not like finding out that he didn't kill himself is going to bring him back to life and then we can fucking get a testimony out of him. Like, you...
Suggested strangulation.
What can anyone do about it? Yeah,
so
nobody
can. By the way, this is the New York Times, and they never lie.
Yeah.
The private pathologist, Dr. Michael Baden, said the morning TV show Fox and Friends, Mr. Epstein experienced a number of injuries, among them a broken bone in his neck, that are extremely unusual in suicidal hangings and could occur much more commonly in homicidal strangulation. I think the evidence points to homicide rather than suicide, said Dr. Baden, who observed the autopsy done by city officials.
Ooh.
Dr. Baden, a former New York City medical examiner and a Fox News contributor, said, I have not seen in 50 years where that occurred in suicidal hanging case.
The only way that this makes sense why they're not releasing the information, I think that the Biden administration didn't release it on Trump because it would also incriminate the Biden administration. And I think the Trump administration isn't releasing it on the current people because it would incriminate themselves and Republicans. And I think the reason why you have this Cold War is because there is probably a third party that has all of the information. Probably, I don't know, like you could say, I mean, I think that, you know, if you're a conspiracy, Andy, Israel or China, right, has all of the actual information. And if one side releases it and it's not complete, then they will release the fully complete thing. That's the only way that it can make sense that nobody has tried to weaponize this information and redact the parts that make their side look bad. Or BlackRock. Well, I'm just saying, like, there's a third party. Whether that is BlackRock, Mossad, China, Putin, a hacker group, I have no idea.
Findings by Dr. Baden were strongly disputed by the city's chief medical examiner, Dr. Barbara Sampson, who previously ruled that Mr. Epstein's death on August 10th in the Metropolitan Correctional Center was suicide. I stand firmly behind our determination of the cause and manner of death in this case. Dr. Sampson said in the interview on Wednesday. She added, in general, fractures of the hyoid bone and cartilage can be seen in suicides and homicides. The hyoid bone is near the Adam's apple. Dr. Sampson also dismissed Dr. Baden's contention that the circumstances around Mr. Epstein's death suggested other people may have been involved. She said her office had done a complete investigation, taking into consideration information gathered by law enforcement in making the determination.
I can't wait for Joe Rogan to finish reading all this and then Kash Patel to just be like, damn, that's crazy.
So this is a perfect example of going back to my public defender and prosecutor days.
Yeah.
This is what we call a war of experts. You can always find someone to come in and say the opposite.
Right.
To be fair, what he's saying now is completely true. He is completely right about that. And I remember, listen, I watched the entire Johnny Depp trial. I will never look at experts the same after I watch that trial.
And I used to do it all the time. I mean, I represented some of the worst humans that you can possibly imagine on Earth. Literally. the guys that were trafficking children from Mexico into America.
That's bad. That's
and
bad.
You could put
That's
up
really bad.
a professional expert to say, and this is what's going to go on forever. And my job is not the forever. My job is to get you absolutely everything that we can give you. And that's what we're going to do.
When did you become aware of this video that showed that no one had gone in and out of the cell?
Recently.
So why was it recent, though? I mean, if this death was... How long ago was this death? 2 years?
Couple...
2019?
So let me get this straight. One of the most noteworthy people that is connected to presidents and other heads of state internationally killed himself, and they thought the cameras were off. But recently they found out now that the cameras were in fact on and they had a recording of it. Huh. Okay.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Time flies. So, 6 years.
Wow.
Well, again, that's part of what I'm going to try to answer for you.
Jeffrey Epstein jail CCTV erased by technical errors. Whoopsies.
Jeez, guys. Oh, bro. Oops. Was destroyed by it was destroyed by man. Who did Phil do that? Oh, he erased the tape again. Oh, it happens.
But you see how anybody on the outside, I mean, this is like a perfect storm for something. Can you pull that article up so we agree with what it says, Jim? Yeah. U.S. prosecutor said the jail mistakenly saved footage from the wrong cell. Sorry. Epstein, a convicted sex offender, first tried to kill himself in July last year and hanged himself in jail.
Hang on.
Yep.
Reread that line.
That he first tried to kill himself in July of last year. Yeah.
How much of the American public do you think knows that?
I didn't know that until right now.
There you go.
Maybe I heard it and forgot. Did you ever hear it, Jamie?
That's why he went suicide watch, I think.
Oh, okay.
So a guy
hanged himself in jail in August while serving trial on federal sex trafficking charge. He pleaded not guilty to abusing dozens of girls, some as young as 14. Soon after Epstein's death in August, two of the CCTV cameras outside his cell had malfunctioned.
You know what? I want to do a poll. Let's create the poll, and it's broken. We'll do it later, maybe at the end of the video.
And we're being examined by the FBI. Found semi-conscious in his prison cell with injuries on his neck on 25 of July after the incident was placed on suicide watch.
Couldn't you cross-reference?
I'm not saying.
Couldn't you cross-reference the injuries that he had on his neck because there was obviously a medical report of that, and then the injuries after he killed himself to see if they lined up? Couldn't you do that?
Every single camera in the place is working. I'm saying we've got footage, and you're getting it.
You're getting it. When are we getting it? Are we getting it like tomorrow? Are we getting it at some point? Are we gonna get it in like a week? Like when is this gonna happen?
Then you can make up your own mind, and the theories can continue. But my job.
So you became aware of this footage recently?
The ones that we're looking at, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, but this is like an article from quite a while ago that was saying that the footage was mistakenly erased.
Look, I mean, it goes back to the same. Ask the people that were in power then. I mean, I get it that you want to hold me to account for their actions, and
no, I'm not saying,
you, not you.
I'm not saying that.
Not you. Just the public in general, and that's okay.
What's confusing to everybody today? First of all, it's very confusing because AI can kind of make anything. You know, which has got to be a bizarre position for you to be in when you're looking at videos. I mean, I've watched Viking videos. It looked real as fuck, you know? They just make Viking towns. I mean, it's really quite incredible what they're doing now, and it accelerates every month. I mean, I talked to Elon about it, and he said we're blown away literally every week. Every week there's some new breakthrough that we're like, wow, we didn't expect that.
Well, I can tell you after having looked at it, this ain't going to be AI.
You don't think so?
You're going to... It's just not great. You know, it's like if it were AI, like someone wanted to come in and make it, they'd make it better.
But why would you make it better when people could, you know, you could have ambiguous footage that...
Joe Rogan is at... This is actually crazy that he's asking these questions. This is more like, yeah, this is peak. Yeah, I know. He's actually asking this. Yeah. Bro, can you imagine like how happy Alex Jones is going to be whenever he sees this video? Like, yeah, he's gonna be so happy.
Is, you know, totally generated by AI. I mean, AI can generate blurry images, AI can generate night vision, AI can generate essentially anything that's already existed, like really shitty 1984 VHS tapes.
Sure.
They can do that.
Yeah,
They
I've
can,
seen that.
But I'm telling you, I'm giving you the tape from the tape. You know, there's just like I'm giving you the documents from the vault, just like I'm giving you information to Congress on COVID origins or what have you. What we find is what you're getting.
Okay, so now it's saying 2019, missing jail video from the first.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Now we've got another article. Oh, here's another one here. So here's the problem. As I said, if people were getting arrested and getting locked up for the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, I would believe that he killed himself. 100%. Like, and I don't think that it's impossible to come to the conclusion that he did, in fact, kill himself. But the problem is that this is happening at the same time that there are no consequences for anyone at all, and it's this complete, opaque, like, incomprehensible bullshit. That's the reason why it's bad. Yeah, that's a stupid argument. No, I don't think that it is. Because, so, basically, if he didn't kill himself, and so, let me think of a way to say this that makes sense. So basically, if the argument is that he actually just killed himself and it's just a freak accident that all of the stars happen to align, that these things, you know, like, just happen, what about all of the other evidence involved with this entirely? It's that nothing with this is moving forward. Him killing himself is just simply a point of reference. It's one point on the graph of the straight line that reads like there is corruption. You see what I'm saying? Statute of limitations? Then put the information out regardless. Fuck it. Then if you can't try them and put them in jail, put the information out anyway and torch their reputation. Joe is asking real questions. Other journalists should strive. Yeah, exactly. Did Epstein kill himself? This is the poll from chat. Only 6% of people think that he killed himself. That is insane. Think about that level of distrust in the government.
First Jeffrey Epstein for the first attempt has been found. So maybe let's put it into perspective. Jails are not the most efficient, best run places. It's not like
Fort Knox.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's yeah.
You know, we're working with what we got.
Right. What about all that gold at Fort Knox? So we never got. Whatever happened to visit? Yeah, they forgot. Well, they ain't turning member.
Oh, and listen, this guy's not the only guy to kill himself in prison. It happens, I don't know how often.
Right.
All the time.
Even if he killed himself in prison. So if he was murdered in prison, crazy, right?
Yeah.
You could see why very powerful people wouldn't want
If
to
he was
talk.
murdered in segregated housing, in isolation, after being on suicide watch in a place in a detention center that I've physically been in myself, it would be fiction. It's just, in my experience, that is not doable.
It's not doable even for the most powerful and wealthiest people in the world.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think, though, that
Their team's capture progress.
I bet you probably figure some shit out. Like, whenever I hear, like, that you couldn't do it, like, I don't know about that. I mean, maybe, right? I mean, I could be speaking from, like, I mean, he knows it better than I do. So I could just not know what I'm talking about, but, like, it sure seems like you'd be able to do it.
We are
like if someone was in a position where a guy could release information that could potentially damage the most wealthy people on earth, you would have a concerted effort that's unprecedented.
Sure.
You'd have the resources that we couldn't even possibly comprehend, all pointing towards eliminating this one person that it could be done.
But, I mean, so many people have been implicated, right, already. And some of that information, what they did to Prince Andrew and everybody else is already out there. And so that's the conspiracy stuff that me, Bongino, and the folks have to say, look, we will give you everything we can, and then we will have done our job. Also,
enemies can become friends, but only if we show our foes
So let me
respect.
get this straight. The president is okay with this getting released. You're okay with this being released. Why? What do you mean you can? Why would you not? Like, I understand that you wouldn't want to release things that are like direct video evidence that involve literal videos of underage girls. Like, I get that totally. Okay, I understand that part. But what else besides that?
This is all so much bigger than
Yeah, who's stopping you?
if I had a shred, me, Cash Patel, had a shred of evidence, the Russiagate guy, the Jan 6 guy, the COVID Origins guy, had a shred of evidence that this guy was murdered, I would be the first guy to bring this case hard and fast. And I would even doing press conferences every week on it.
Mm-hmm.
The first guy. That's what I'm asking people to play out to their logical conclusion. I'm not Comey. I'm not McCabe. I'm not the guy that was in the seat before. I have a wildly different background. I've been putting out the truth my entire career. Why would I risk all of it on this guy?
I believe. I believe.
I mean, it would make sense because this is bigger than anything you did. This is the biggest. This is the biggest one. If you're gonna risk it all for anything, it's gonna be for this one. Like, obviously.
Just think that, you know, the problem is we've been fuming on this conspiracy for so long.
Yeah.
And it's conspiracies, don't we?
Oh,
As a country,
it's
there's
good,
so
right?
much.
I mean, you know, they make
JFK tapes. Come on, like release the documents. We all love them. We love them. We love UFO ones. We love everything. We love the craziest conspiracies. They're exciting. We don't want to hear
They're
that he
entertaining.
tried to kill himself in July and then succeeded in August.
It would be boring. Yes.
And look, I could imagine why the guy wanted to kill himself. He was going to jail for the rest of his fucking life. And in jail, sex offenders for children are not treated well.
And also, by the way, most Americans haven't, nor should they. Have you ever spent 1 minute in segregated housing?
No.
It's the worst.
It sucks?
The
Yeah,
absolute
I bet it would
worst.
suck.
Like, you and your background, you could probably handle it, right? Like, you know, just in all reality, most Americans, you put them in there for 5 seconds, they're going to slam their head against the wall. Literally. They're going to lose it.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
It's that bad.
It's obvious
I'm sure.
he's lying.
I could only imagine. And I could only imagine this guy knowing that it's over. And what do you want to do? Do you want to...
Yeah, and
I mean,
then...
who knows who the fuck he's working for? Let's just put that aside. Now, if you're working for... Let's just... We don't have to name names. We don't have to speculate. If he's working for some... agency, some group, some foreign group.
Yeah.
And they decide to target his family because he's going to jail for the rest of his life anyway. They decide to target his family if he testifies against them. I could see where if I thought that it was like I'm going to be in jail for the rest of my life, or I tell and my family winds up being killed or destroyed.
Yeah, you
or
kill yourself.
Who knows? Maybe you'd say, look, the honorable thing is to end it in prison.
True.
Honorable, cowardly thing.
Cowardly, whatever it is. Like,
yeah, no, he's right about that. Yeah, I think that's obvious. Ghislaine Maxwell needs to be publicly interrogated. Why is nothing happening with her? Yeah, she's still alive, right? Yeah, she's still alive. Yeah, so, what about that? That's crazy.
At some point, that guy was going back into Gen Pop. And the one thing I'll tell you about prison systems is the people they eat are child predators.
Yes.
And he was going to get eaten.
Well known. Yeah, and they probably wouldn't have protected him. Yeah. So the narrative has always been that there's video.
Yes.
Now, what is the chain of custody? Is there evidence that there is video? Is there evidence that it was moved around, stored, protected from people looking at it? Like,
you're going to get all that information. Like, that's literally what we're putting together.
Yeah, like, I don't know, guys. How long is it gonna take to get this stuff together? It's taken a while, isn't it? Like, I mean, to me, like, I feel like this has been going on for a bit. So, like, what's really going on with all this? Why is it happening? Give me a second. I gotta close some of these. There's like 50 of these fucking things. Okay. Yeah, this is weird. 6 years, yeah.
And we're going to give you every single thing we have. And that's the whole point. We can't fill
I
gaps.
wish Joe would ask about, like, what do you mean by can? Like, give, like, I mean, can you at least give an example of something you wouldn't be able to release? And, like, say why you wouldn't be able to? Like, because that, what does that mean? You know and can. And this is also, like, it's another qualifying term. It's another qualifying word that, like, I mean, this is just me. Like, now I'm getting, like, the more I hear about this, the more I, like, again, this is, dude, I wish my mom was still alive so she could watch this shit happen. If I got her on this stream and had her talking about this, honestly, I bet that stream would probably have 100,000 views. I'm not even kidding you. Like, it was insane. Like, the level, like, because she was, like, she was 70. She was, it's like she was crazy, but whenever it came to conspiracy shit, it's like, imagine somebody who, like, you know how it's like a samurai that spends like 3 years or 10 years practicing one attack? This is what it was like for her. It was fucking insane, the amount of depth that she had of knowledge of this. It was nuts.
By making stuff up, and we're not going to do that.
And you have to be methodical.
And we have to be,
because she
that's
even
the
would
other
talk
thing,
about
right?
this.
We're reviewing not just the video, we're reviewing you know, everything as meticulously as we can, because that's what we owe the American people. That's our job.
Yeah.
And I don't want to rush to the sticks or the podium and just say, hey, look what we found.
Right.
And then be like, oh, sorry, I forgot the 4 seconds. You know, if we miss 4 seconds, they'll be like, oh, well, it's in the 4 seconds you missed.
Right.
So I'm
How much
confident.
can you talk about what you've seen?
Not yet. Just what I've told you.
Can you say you've seen anything?
No, that's the point. There's nothing in there, like in the video. You guys would be bored.
You talking about the video of the murder or the suicide?
The suicide.
But what about the video from the island?
Oh, that's sorry. So you're talking about two different
Yes.
things. So
sorry.
So yeah. So
Get ready.
again, we're gonna give you.
Where do we go, Cap? This way. Keep an eye out for tentacles.
Again, we're gonna give you
You heard me.
everything we can, and people have to remember.
Yeah.
We're not gonna re-victimize women. We're not gonna put that shit back out there. It's not happening, because then he wins. Not doing it. You want to hate me for it? Fine. Again, logical.
I think that it's more important to put the information out without putting out the names or anything else. You have to at least get the people that did it. Like, I'm not saying you have to put out the names or images of them or anything, but you're telling me that you can't even put out a list of people? You can't even say anything? We want the clients. Yeah, there's nothing going on at all about this, and it's all to protect these girls. No, that's not it. Because here's the problem: is that, and this is why this emotional appeal doesn't work with me, at least. If they did it with Epstein, they're still doing it right now. Do you think somebody who's like this creepy, pedo, rapist, insane, awful person, just after Epstein got arrested, they said, well, I guess rape's off the menu? No, bro, they went to a different restaurant. Let's get some fucking names.
Play out. If there was a video of some guy or gal committing felony on an island, and I'm in charge,
yeah,
don't you think you'd see it?
If you have access to it.
If I have it.
Maybe, maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. Like, I don't, maybe.
Period. If I had it.
So
nobody got
Where
arrested.
else would it be?
Right. If you have it.
Right.
But you can't say that you have it.
There's probably like A lot of other places it could be. I mean, Russia, China, Mossad could all have this information. It could be held by a private third party that we're not aware of. It could be held by a large conglomerate like BlackRock, too. It could be held by other politicians that, you know, are just kind of tangentially involved. Yeah, KGB, yeah, something like that. Yeah, I mean, there's tons of ways that this could happen.
No, we're giving you everything we have.
So far.
Everything we have so far is...
Have you guys gone over all the video that's available?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. That's what takes so much damn time.
Right.
And
is there video from the island?
Not of what you want. The people out there have filled the void with, can't wait to see X, Y, or Z.
Right, speculation.
And I'm like...
So there is footage, and there are people that were at the island. Where are they? Who was at the island? Also, can't you cross-reference this with somebody like Gillislaine Maxwell? Like, you might not have irrefutable proof, but in my opinion, maybe this is irresponsible or selfish, but I think we deserve to know who was at the island. I think we deserve to see that. That's where I'm at. It's all gonna go. Yeah, even if they're not doing anything wrong, even if you can't convict them, come on. No matter what was happening. Yeah, and I understand that being on the island is not a guarantee that you did weird stuff. But, I mean, I still think people should have an idea. Yeah, it is. I don't know about that. I really just don't. I don't know about that. So this is the reason why I'm hesitant to be definitive, okay? It's a personal reason, and you guys can take it or leave it, right? This is just the way that I feel about it. This is why I'm not definitive. I'm high probability, but I'm not definitive. Is that I've had friends, we all know this, I have had friends that were accused of doing weird stuff. I had no idea about this happening. These were people that were very, very close friends of mine that I was involved with on a very, very regular basis all the time. And I had no idea that any of this happened at all. No clue. So, a proximity to a person does not guarantee that you are aware of every bad thing that people have done. But at the same time, it's very suspicious. And I think it's fair that people are suspicious. You know the world would say yes, guilty by association? Yes,